New York lawmakers have approved a sweeping overhaul of the state's handgun licensing rules in response to last month's landmark Supreme Court ruling, which struck down previous restrictions. Jennifer Johnson looks at what the new rules mean for New Yorkers and how the state's governor is vowing to fight back against other controversial decisions made by America's highest court.
New York lawmakers feel the new, mostly conservative U.S. Supreme Court went too far when it struck down its state law requiring proof of self-defense to obtain a concealed carry gun permit. The court, in its ruling, said all gun regulations must have historic roots. New York leaders are firing back.
The Supreme Court's decisions were certainly setbacks, but we view them as only temporary setbacks. And I refuse to surrender my right as governor to protect New Yorkers from gun violence.
In what was called an extraordinary legislative session Friday, lawmakers took swift action, now requiring private businesses that allow concealed guns to post that publicly so everyone using that business knows. Gun buyers will have to provide the state their social media accounts and character references, and background checks just got a lot harder. New
York will now require and conduct background checks for all ammunition purchases and comparing ammunition records against records of other databases, which identifies people convicted of felonies.
Action was also taken to ban concealed weapons from so-called sensitive areas, including Times Square, subways, bus and train stations. Shootings in New York City have more than doubled this year compared to 2019. This week, a young mother was shot in the head at point-blank range by an ex-boyfriend while pushing a stroller in the city.
The Supreme Court really made America a very dangerous place, particularly in New York City. I just don't know what they were thinking.
New York lawmakers will also take action to ensure a woman's right to abortion in their state. That comes after the High Court's most dramatic decision this session, when it not only upheld Mississippi's law banning abortions after 15 weeks, but then overturned the constitutional right to abortion.
There are 6 relatively young Supreme Court justices who feel incredibly emboldened, incredibly aggressive to move American law to the right, and they are not stopping with this.
My choice!
A new Yahoo News poll shows more than 60% of Americans now have no confidence in the High Court, with more controversial cases coming up this fall, including ending affirmative action in college admissions and allowing businesses the right to refuse services for same-sex weddings. Jennifer Johnson, Global News, Washington.